Snow exploded beneath Seren Vale's boots as she ran. Shift! Alpha Darius's voice thundered across the training grounds. Shift or fall. Her bones burned. Her lungs tore with the effort. She dropped to her knees in the center of the stone ring, hands clawing at ice that would not answer her call. Nothing happened. No fur. No claws. No wolf. A ripple of disgust moved through Ironridge Clan. Seren lifted her head slowly. The entire pack stood in a circle around her. Warriors, elders, children perched on the edges of crates. Her mother stood among them, face pale, eyes lowered. "This is your third Rite," Darius said, stepping into the ring. His boots crunched inches from her fingers. 3 chances granted by tradition. "I tried," Seren whispered. "I felt something this time. I swear I did." A sharp laugh cut from Elder Varric. "You feel cold, girl. That is all." The crowd murmured. Darius crouched, gripping her chin hard enough to bruise. "You carry wolf blood. But blood without bite is a flaw." "I am not a flaw," she said, though her voice trembled. "Then prove it." She squeezed her eyes shut and reached inward one final time. She had imagined this moment for years. The rush of heat, the tearing of skin, the first triumphant howl. She pushed past fear, past humiliation. Nothing answered. The silence was louder than a scream. Darius released her as if she had dirted him. He rose and turned to the clan. "Seren Vale stands unformed." The words struck harder than any blow. Gasps rippled outward. Someone muttered, "Defective." Another whispered, "Human-blooded." Seren staggered to her feet. "I can fight. I can serve. I can." "You cannot shift," Darius cut in coldly. "And without a wolf, you are a fracture in the line." Her gaze found her mother. "Say something." Her mother's lips parted, but no sound came. Slowly, she looked away. That hurt more than the sentence. Darius raised his hand. "By authority of Ironridge, Seren Vale is given the Vale sentence." The words dropped like a blade. A Vale sentence was not exile with escort or ceremony. It was erasure. No farewell. No supplies. No mourning. "You cannot do this," Seren said hoarsely. "I have committed no crime. You were born one." The warriors stepped forward. Not to strike her. Not to drag her. Just to stand between her and the rest of the pack. A barrier. "You have until sundown to cross the border," Darius said. "After that, you are prey." Snow began to fall harder, thick and heavy. Seren looked once more at her mother. "Please." Her mother's eyes shone with tears, but she did not move. Seren's chest felt hollow as she stepped past the warriors and out of the ring. No one reached for her. No one stopped her. Behind her, the clan resumed breathing as though something unpleasant had finally been removed. By the time Seren reached the forest edge, the storm was rising. Wind cut across her face. She wrapped her thin cloak tighter and pushed forward. She did not allow herself to cry. Tears would freeze. She told herself she would survive. She would prove them wrong. She would. Her foot caught beneath snow-covered roots, and she fell hard. The mountain roared. Night swallowed the trees as the blizzard surged in full fury. Snow stung her eyes. Her fingers numbed within minutes. She staggered upright and kept moving, though she no longer knew which direction was forward. "Keep going," she muttered. "Just keep going." The cold crept deeper. Her thoughts slowed. Her knees buckled. She fell again, and this time did not rise. Snow began to gather on her shoulders. "Maybe," she whispered weakly, staring up into the white sky. Maybe they were right. A shadow moved through the storm. At first she thought it was death. Then she saw the eyes. One was clouded and ruined. The other burned molten gold. The wolf was massive, larger than any she had seen within Ironridge. Black fur whipped in the wind. Scars cut across his muzzle and shoulder like old lightning. Ashfong. Even beyond the border, they whispered of him. A rogue. A killer. A beast who slaughtered without mercy. He stood over her. Seren tried to laugh, but it came out broken. "Go on then. At least it will be quick." The wolf lowered his head. She braced for teeth. Instead, warmth pressed against her side. He nudged her upright gently, then turned his back to her as if offering something. Her mind struggled to understand. The wolf crouched lower. No, she breathed. You're not. He shifted his weight impatiently. With numb fingers, she grasped his fur. The wolf rose carefully, lifting her weight as though she were nothing. The world blurred into white and shadow as he moved through the storm, powerful and steady. Snow could not slow him. Wind bent around him. Seren drifted in and out of consciousness, aware only of the rhythm of his stride and the heat of his body. When she woke again, there was fire. A cave ceiling loomed overhead. Orange light flickered across stone walls. She was wrapped in thick pelts. The wolf sat near the entrance, blocking the wind. Snow clung to his fur, but melted in rivulets down scarred muscle. You brought me here, she croaked. He turned his head slightly, golden eye fixed on her. Why? He said nothing, of course. Wolves did not answer. He rose and padded toward her. For one terrifying second, instinct screamed at her to scramble back. Instead, he dropped something at her feet. A freshly killed hare. Seren stared. You hunted. He pushed it closer with his nose. I don't have a fire pit. He turned, walked to the smoldering flames, and with deliberate precision adjusted the stones with his paw. Her breath caught. You understand. The wolf held her gaze. She swallowed. You're not feral. Silence stretched between them, heavy but not threatening. Her hands trembled as she skewered the meat and held it over the flames. The wolf watched but did not approach. You could have eaten first, she murmured. He remained where he was. Only when she tore a piece free and swallowed did he finally lower himself to the ground. Warmth seeped slowly back into her bones. When a shiver racked her body, the wolf rose and crossed the cave. He lay beside her, massive frame pressing heat into her side. Seren stiffened. His breathing was steady, careful, gentle. No hunger, no threat. Her eyes burned. They said I was useless. The wolf did not move. I tried so hard. His ruined eye faced the fire. The golden one remained on her. She did not know why she spoke, only that silence in this cave felt different from the silence in the ring. I would have served them forever, she whispered, if they had just let me stay. The wolf shifted slightly, closing the space between them. For the first time in years, Seren felt protected. Outside, the storm howled. Inside, the monster guarded her. And far beyond the trees, Ironridge warriors were already following her tracks. By dawn, the storm had weakened, but danger had not. Seren woke to the sound of a low growl vibrating through the cave walls. The wolf was on his feet, body rigid, head tilted toward the forest. Voices echoed faintly beyond the trees. They came, she whispered. The wolf turned his golden eye on her, then moved swiftly to the cave mouth. Seren scrambled up, heart racing. If they find you, they'll kill you. The growl deepened, not in fear, but in warning. Through the trees, armored figures emerged. Ironridge. Darius walked at their front, snow crunching beneath deliberate steps. Seren, his voice carried. You have made this difficult. The wolf stepped fully into view. Warriors halted instantly. By the moon, Darius's gaze hardened. You misunderstand. This is not request. Warriors advanced. The wolf lunged. Chaos erupted. He moved like living shadow. Fast, brutal, unstoppable. One warrior flew into a snowbank. Another's spear shattered between massive jaws. Hold him, Darius barked. But the wolf was fury unleashed. Seren watched in horror and awe. Chains flew. 3 warriors managed to wrap weighted iron around the wolf's hind legs. He roared, a sound that shook snow from branches. More chains. More bodies. Even surrounded, he did not retreat. Seren ran forward. Stop. You'll kill him. Darius seized her arm hard enough to bruise. He will live, if you cooperate. The wolf struggled violently, dragging 2 warriors across ice. Enough. Seren screamed. I'll go. The wolf froze. Golden eye found hers. She swallowed. I'll return with you. But you let him live. Darius considered. He is rogue. He is mine. She shot back without thinking. The words stunned them both. Darius's eyes gleamed. Very well. He will remain contained. The wolf's growl was low, furious. Please, she whispered to him. Trust me. For a long moment, the beast strained against iron. Then slowly he stilled. Warriors tightened chains. Darius released Seren. Wise choice. As they marched her back toward Ironridge, she looked over her shoulder. The wolf stood bound in snow, muscles coiled, gaze never leaving her. I will come back, she mouthed. The golden eye burned. Ironridge did not welcome her with warmth. She was given rooms within the stone keep, luxurious, guarded, suffocating. Comfortable, Darius asked that evening, leaning in her doorway. Am I free? You are honored. That is not what I asked. He smiled faintly. Tomorrow we begin. The ceremonial hall was carved from mountain rock. Torches lined circular walls etched with ancient runes. Seren stood at the center of a sigil. Elders formed a ring. Darius removed his cloak slowly. You need not fear, Elder Varric said. The first siphoning is mild. I don't consent. Varric's smile was thin. Consent is unnecessary. Power surged as Darius stepped into the circle opposite her. Focus, he commanded. I won't help you. You do not have to. He reached forward and seized her wrists. The world snapped. Cold tore through her veins as something invisible ripped outward from her core. She gasped. Darius inhaled sharply. The runes flared. Seren felt something inside her pulled like thread from cloth. Stop, she choked. But Darius's eyes were alight, stronger, brighter. The circle ended abruptly. She collapsed. Varric knelt beside her. You see? Efficient. Her body felt hollow. That night, she lay staring at the ceiling, shivering despite thick blankets. They're killing me, she whispered to empty stone. A guard shifted uncomfortably near the door. Days passed. Each ceremony drained more. Her reflection grew pale. One evening, as guards spoke outside her chamber, she overheard a whisper. Did you hear? One said. The rogue was once Alpha of Stormfall. Impossible. He defied the high circle. Refused the purge. Seren's heart stuttered. The purge of frailty. The killing of weak-born wolves. He spared children. The guard continued. They crushed his throat for it. Seren pressed her hand to her mouth. He had protected the unwanted. Like her, tears slid down silently. I'm so sorry, she whispered into the dark. The next ceremony was stronger. Darius demanded more. You can give more, he said sharply. I feel it. I have nothing left. He gripped her harder. Pain exploded. Her vision blurred. Somewhere beyond walls and iron and snow. A roar answered. The roar came again, closer. Stone trembled. Guards shouted. Darius jerked upright inside the circle. What is that? Seren's head lifted weakly. She felt it before she saw it. Heat. Fury. Him. The great doors of the ceremonial hall exploded inward. Iron hinges tore free as a massive black wolf stormed through splintered wood and shattered stone. Warriors rushed him. He tore through them like wine through leaves. Hold him, Varric screamed. Spears struck fur, but he did not slow. Chains dangled from one hind leg, broken and sparking against stone. Blood streaked his shoulder. His golden eye locked on Seren. Relief and terror collided inside her. Kaelin, she breathed. Darius stepped between them, power crackling around his frame. You dare. The wolf lunged. Darius met him with amplified strength. The collision shook the hall. Seren struggled against the weakening sigil lines etched beneath her feet. Stop, she cried. But no one listened. Kaelin was outnumbered. Warriors swarmed his flanks. Darius struck him with a blast of stolen force that hurled the wolf across the floor. He crashed into pillars, stone splintering. Chain him, Darius ordered. More iron flew. Kaelin rose again, bleeding, staggering, but standing. Seren felt something inside her snap. Enough, she screamed. The room froze for half a breath. Darius turned toward her, eyes blazing with borrowed light. You will end this. He seized her throat and dragged her to the center of the circle. Give me all of it, he hissed. Now. If I do, she gasped, you'll kill him anyway. I have no reason to. You never needed one. Kalen roared again and tried to surge forward, but chains wrapped tighter around his limbs. Darius tightened his grip. Choose, Seren. Surrender fully and he lives. Resist, and I end him before you. Seren looked at Kalen. Even bound, even broken, he was still fighting to reach her. For her, no one had ever done that. I won't let them use you, she whispered, though she didn't know if he could hear. Darius's patience snapped. Now, Seren closed her eyes. Fine. She would surrender, but not the way he expected. She stopped fighting the pull. She let the power flow. Darius inhaled sharply as the current surged. Yes, he murmured. That's it. The runes flared brighter than ever. But this time, she followed the current. Instead of letting it drain outward blindly, she reached into it. It wasn't a void. It was a river, and she was standing at its source. She felt every fragment he had taken from her. She felt the hollow spaces. She felt the wrongness. And she understood. I'm not your vessel, she whispered. Darius didn't hear. He was too busy drinking. Seren's eyes snapped open. She grabbed the river. The current reversed. Darius's expression shattered. What are you? The power ripped back through him. He screamed. Light exploded across the chamber. Every fragment he had stolen tore free and returned to her in a violent rush. The air cracked like thunder. Warriors were thrown off their feet. Chains snapped. Kalen's restraints shattered into molten fragments. Darius staggered backward, strength draining from his limbs. You don't command it, Seren said, rising slowly. It answers to me. The sigil beneath her feet disintegrated. Power surged outward from her, not wild, but controlled. The elders tried to flee. Too late. With a single breath, she stripped Darius of every ounce he had siphoned. He fell to his knees, trembling. No, he rasped. You belong to the pack. I never did. Kalen shifted mid-stride. Bone and fur gave way to scarred skin and muscle. He stood beside her, bleeding, breathing hard, but upright. He could not speak. He didn't need to. The hall was silent except for the crackle of dying torches. Warriors stared in shock. Elder Varric crawled forward. You could lead us. Seren looked down at him. Lead you? She asked softly. You are stronger than any alpha. And you would follow me? Yes, he breathed. Until someone stronger came. Silence. She turned slowly, taking in every face that had watched her fall in the ring. You only value what you can consume, she said. I will not be consumed. She stepped down from the broken sigil. No one stopped her. Kalen walked beside her. Darius remained kneeling, stripped and shaking. As they reached the doorway, Seren paused. Anyone who refuses the purge, she said without turning. Anyone who is unformed, unwanted, or discarded, come find us. Murmurs rippled. Then she walked out into the snow. No one followed. Not yet. The forest swallowed them. For days they traveled deeper into the mountains. Kalen moved close to her always now, not in protection alone, but partnership. At night, he shifted partially, resting against her warmth. One evening, beneath a sky bright with stars, she touched the scar at his throat gently. I wish I could hear your voice, she murmured. He covered her hand with his. Then slowly, painfully, he forced air through damaged cords. The sound was rough. Broken. Seren. Her breath caught. Tears filled her eyes. You don't have to, she whispered. But he tried again. I stay. She laughed through tears and pressed her forehead to his. Yes. Stay. Months passed. A valley hidden between ridges became home. They called it Hearthwood. Word spread quietly. One by one they came. A young Omega cast out for refusing a forced bond. A child who could not shift by his 10th year. A widow whose mate had been culled during the Purge. They built simple homes first. Then walls. Then something stronger than stone. Choice. There were no dominance trials. No ceremonies of draining. Only oaths. Protect. Shelter. Stand together. Seren stood at the edge of the valley one morning, watching children chase each other across frost-tipped grass. Kalen approached behind her, sliding his arms around her waist. His voice was still rough, but clearer. You built this. We built this, she corrected softly. He rested his hand over hers, over her stomach. She covered it instinctively. He felt it too. Hope. Are you afraid? He asked slowly. She thought about Ironridge, about Darius kneeling, about the snow closing over her footprints the night she ran. Yes, she admitted, but not of our child. He turned her gently. Then what? That the world will try to break them the way it tried to break us. He leaned his forehead against hers. We will not bow, he said. The words were steadier now, stronger. She smiled. No, we won't. In the distance, more figures approached the valley path. Outcasts, seeking shelter. Seren squeezed Kaelin's hand. This is home, she said. Home, he echoed. If you made it this far in their journey, then you understand what true strength looks like. It isn't dominance. It isn't power stolen from others. It's the courage to protect the unwanted. If Seren and Kaelin's story moved you, if you believe monsters can be heroes and that home is something we choose, make sure you like this story, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment telling us, would you have walked away from Ironridge or taken the throne? Your support helps more stories like this survive. And in a world that tries to silence the broken, we refuse to bow.